was a huge game in game 1, and I gotta keep talking about it because it was huge, and it really counts for something.
Yeah, 11,000 gold is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, it counts for something. But does losing the 3 games after that mean, I think, something more about IG coming from Group Ascend? I think so.
I think that might have a bit more of a big impact, to be honest with you, Dia, as we are on to the bans here for game number 4, potentially the last one of this very long and very explosive night of LPL Mayhem. Rakan going to be the last ban, and a lot of focus being toward those junglers. Not a lot of mid laners taken off the board. Syndra has yet to be unpicked here by Rookie, so if he wants a comfort pick right out of the gate, he can go for that. But crucially, Dia, Jace unbanned, Malphite unbanned. The 2 junglers that have dominated the meta, I can't believe it escaped my mind, are open, and IG are going to snag up the rock instantly.
Yunara also unbanned is the first pick for NIP, and Zhuo immediately knows what to do. Yes, his Thresh was great. Yes, his Bard was great. But the Lulu has one job, and it is not to be stylish. It is to keep Assum alive and kicking. This is a critical draft difference, though. Look at what IG first picked. Yes, it's a powerful jungler, but what does Malphite do? Malphite jumps on top of your AD carry.
And I feel like Malphite is really only as good as the follow-up he will receive. And it seems like IG are looking to get as much follow-up in there as possible. Ashe Seraphine lock-in going to be super painful for Assum and Zhuo to lane against in the early phases. The range advantage that this combo can bring you and the poke that it has in lane is absolutely devastating. And NIP gonna go for a counter pick of their own, locking in that Trundle to try and knock this Malphite down a peg. Subjugate gonna be very useful in making him less tanky should the team fights get a bit dicey. And we have to assume that team fights are yet again gonna be the name of the game for NIP. And the way IG are drafting, they also want to try and match them in the 5v5s. Wombo combo seems to be what they are going for.
It has been haymaker after haymaker in this draft. Malphite, slam. Yunara Lulu, slam. Ashe Seraphine, you get it. But as we approach this next phase, I'm feeling the Syndra, man. Like, the way that IG are drafting right now, nothing is more of a
obvious pick. Like,
yes,
we see as well.
There's a certain energy that Syndra would bring to this draft that I can't quite say, but...
And I feel like we need IG to also have a little bit more damage under their belt, because while Ashe is a pretty high DPM 80 carry, it doesn't have another damage dealer to back it up. You're looking at Malphite to be setup, you're looking at Seraphine to be survivability. You need to link up with another damage dealer, and I think Rookie could very easily be that if he decides to lock in this Syndra, especially with the options available and all of the options fearless away. Those pools are starting to be constricted. Rookie going Syndra here would be his best available champion open.
This is a good thing to do, though. You lock in Ornn blind, that's okay, because you're saving your counter pick for care.
No Trundle there to counter pick you, subjugate you. The subjugate will be onto the Malphite. IG, if they want to go for another tank and just kind of have a wet noodle fight up top, I think it removes a little bit of that value from the Trundle subjugate, because when he takes away the stats of another tank, if there is a second tank on top of that, it makes the insurance of this backline just that much safer. As we do see the Jace being hovered here by IG, and it will be locked in. I have to imagine that is going top lane to match the Ornn. And Anivia being hovered, Rookie has also played this in mid, but I would love Syndra a lot more, and they're just going to slam it. This feels like a fight, or a team fight comp that we have been begging IG to go all series long. But Dia, is it too late? As Diana going to be the last pick, and it's going to be in the mid lane. Cares going Diana. We have seen Diana jungles, but Diana mid, that's uncharted territory.
It is haymaker after haymaker. Jace Syndra, I mean, so good. And again, we saw this Syndra coming from a mile away. This IG composition is meant to do one thing, and it is destroy someone. But Diana, as an answer, wants to get up close and personal, especially with the backline of IG. It's a great answer to the Syndra, and compositionally, this really works for NIP. Everyone goes forward. Everyone takes the fight to IG right where they want it, and Assum is left to fire from the backline.
Absolutely. Another game where Assum is relied on to be the carry. I think Care as well is obviously going to have a weight on his shoulders with this Diana to make things work. This is a champion where they are very high in the DPM department, and they don't like any of the other departments. They don't provide a lot other than the innate damage that they do. That teamfight ultimate can be good for setting up Ornhorns, but more often than not, Dia, it's going to be the other way around. Ornhorn into Diana ultimate is likely going to be the combo that we see, and it's just a matter of if Care can deliver. Care and Assum for NIP, the carries for this team. IG, though, it's an all-rounder comp. It's a 5v5 as much as possible. And Rookie going to be on his patented Syndra to try and claw this game and this series back.
I'm looking for where it was, because we do not see Diana very often. Care has played one game of Diana in his career.
Really?
I am looking for where it was.
Yes. I'm very curious about that, frankly. This is a champion so seldom picked in pro, and even when it is, it's more thought of as a jungler at this point in time. Mid lane, the big concern is that if it falls behind, it doesn't have a lot of value outside of just being a damage dealer, and it has to be up in your face in order to deal that damage. It has to be getting into the thick of every single fight, so it could very well just be an easy target for IG to focus down, especially if they're all grouped up together. But it feels like that grouping could be a double-edged sword. Diana gets ahead, boom, 5-man ultimate, dealing a ton of damage. But if they're all together, Diana goes in, gets blown up before they can deliver the damage. I think the early laning phase around mid is really going to spell how the rest of this game goes for this pick.
We'll really have to see what the junglers do around this as well. Bot lane also, of course, the big focus. Assum locked in. Yunara super early on. It has been banned every single game of this series up until now. And Ashe Seraphine, a combination that I have been looking forward to casting all split, now finally on my screen.
This is like the break glass in case of emergency duo, I feel. When your back is against the wall, a lot of teams have said Ashe Seraphine, boom, you slam that, and you get prio, you get a ton of gold early, and you look to try and snowball that as an advantage and never let go of it. But IG, like we talked about in the pregame for this fourth match between the two teams, they have struggled to find gold leads early on. This is a game, though, where you need to find gold leads early on because the reciprocal is giving gold advantages over to Diana, over to Yunara, and they can take those and scale so well with them.
You are not going to believe this. You are not going to believe what I'm about to tell you. The last time that Care played Diana, it was on NIP in the series that they won against FPX.
Really? Their one win against a Ascend team, their one series win against an Ascend team, and the Diana was the break glass in case of emergency pick for them there, as well as now Rookie might be in trouble.
Flashing away. It's not going to be enough. Care wants that first blood. No. Rookie is on 1 HP, but nobody dies.
And it's both flashes committed for Guwon and Care as well. That's going to significantly stifle the all-in potential of these two champions because Rookie He burns his summoner, but he's got that scatter of the weak. He's got a way to peel this Diana off if need be. So I feel like there is extra safety for him in the lane, despite losing that summoner spell.
Jwei and Photic just continuing to maintain their dominance on the bot side. It's exactly what Ashe Seraphine are meant to do.
They're just going to keep doing that. We can see that Guwon also started on the top side of the map, so he won't be there to provide reinforcements for a fair bit of time. And so that means Assum and Zhuo, every time they take a back, they will be sacrificing some minions in the process, some experience in the process. And we can see that Zhuo has already taken his leave in the lane, is maybe looking to run interference mid, as Wei is in the area, maybe looking to do something, but there's a Lulu just there to protect a good roam to save the conditions for this Diana. Even though it's not getting kills, as long as it's not being set behind Dia, I am confident in Kair's ability to pilot this in the mid to late game.
Just a few wet noodles slapping each other up top side with no jungle assistance on the way. I want to say Soboro should be okay. I want to say that. And yet, First Blood could be cooking. Hoya
Minions?
forces out the auto. And Soboro survives.
Hoya almost getting a solo kill on the Ornn is going to force Soboro to use his ultimate, but he still retains that flash. Hoya, can he maybe look for an all-in? Oh!
Why are we walking back into it? Kair does go low, goes back in, and goes down to Rookie.
Hoya manages to get the first blood, so it's a little bit more gold given over to the Ornn, but Kair goes down. The Diana not off to a hot start, especially without that flash. It is going to be difficult for him to try and get a return kill. Guwon just gets his crab yoinked. That's just disrespect right there, Rookie. Why did you do that?
So quick note as well, because I've continued looking at how well this Diana did and all that. So Kair was playing for Fun plus Phoenix at the time, as we'll catch the replay, and I'll talk about it after.
Yeah, Kair, good like rebuttal, laying down his spells, but the ultimate crucially doesn't hit onto Wei. I think that if that went through, he actually is able to trade 1-for-1. If Wei was also just a little bit closer to the turret, I think another shot would have gone off. So things that could have gone right for Kair did not, in fact, go right, and he misses out on getting a return kill in the mid lane. Just makes it harder for this Diana to find angles until that flash comes back up.
Okay, guys, real quick. Photic getting low on the bot side. Remember, Zhuo's just meant to keep Assum firing. Cleanse comes in immediately. Assum is low, so is Photic. Zhuo flashes after him and gets the kill. Well, Assum survives the battle. Lulu manages to take the victory for NIP in the bot side. Jwei,
There's
1
no way.
HP in a dream, while Rookie gets taken down by Kair in the mid lane.
And Kair finally gets the kill that he needed on this Diana. This pick is freed up to push in the wave and look for a reset. Dragon is up, Grub's up in about 30 seconds. If Kair can get back to the lane in time to assist Guwon for that topside objective, it'll be huge for them to maintain gold and start to give some of these early resources over to the top side of NIP. And it's just Rookie walking too far to one side. A house is brought down between him and his turret, and unfortunately, he gets hit by the house, and he gets hit by a whole lot more afterwards.
Dragon is gonna go down to IG while they do this. Oh my god, Quax. Oh my god, we are gonna get another fight. Kair is looking for this. Thank god, thank god. Okay. Nope. Kair was playing for Fun plus Phoenix at the time when they went up against Ninjas in Pyjamas. In the one series, as you say, that NIP have won versus a group Ascent team.
There's no shot.
There is no way. We're doing this again. Rookie flashes away.
Rookie,
and this
not...
Please, this is not the first time. This is not the first time that Rookie has faced off against Kair's Diana, because Rookie was playing for Ninjas in Pyjamas that year.
Really? Wait,
Rookie,
that's crazy.
Rookie went up against Kair's Diana the only other time he's played it in pro, and he beat it on Ahri. Kair went 0-5 and lost finishing the series in Ninjas in Pyjamas' favor.
Well, guess what? He's already doing better. He's got the 1 kill, and you can bet he is going to try and extend the value of that kill as much as he possibly can. He's still behind in gold compared to Rookie. There's about a 20 CS chasm in that department for the IG mid laner compared to his counterpart. But I mean, if you can give another kill over to Care, I think it's going to start to really be difficult, especially with Rookie not having his flash. Guwon not even concerned about the bot or about the top side objective. They're just going to maybe look for a dive, but now Zhuo does have that wild growth. Let's see if this is successful, though. This is a tough comp to dive.
All about who's tanking, and right now Zhuo picks it up first.
Who's
First
going to
kill
re-engage?
does go over to NIP. It looks like a redive for them, as this time Assum is going to tank the tower and collects the kill, onto Jwei. NIP making that dive really clean.
Really good stuff from NIP. It can be really daunting to dive a champion like Seraphine, who has so much CC and ability to lock you down, make it difficult, but they don't start attacking the members of IG's bot lane until those ultimates come through. It was a game of chicken, and NIP ended up winning that, which allowed them to lay down their damage. They take down Jwei, and then Assum tanking up the turret as he is the member with the most amount of HP. Really well done by them to get more gold into this Trundle. Assum yet to collect a kill, but is getting close to that 1 item mark. And Yunara, as long as they're getting the items necessary to be that late game carry, I don't really think it matters if you're giving them kills or not, so long as they're relatively accelerated compared to their counterpart.
And that Assum is, if only by a little bit. We were waiting for team fights to break out to really let both the Yunara and the Ashe Seraphine shine. It's going to come down to execution, and that's where IG separated themselves from NIP in game number 1. Guwon spots out Wei, laying down a control ward on his way through the bot side river with 1:40 on the next dragons to come up. Nice catch onto Assum, half health him immediately. NIP, they actually might lose this fight. Wei does come in to try and finish the kill, but Shock Blast will not catch Assum. Accelerated or not, IG will have to back away.
And look at Guwon. He is trying to move into the bot side. Care going for an engage on the Rookie.
Shouldn't have the burst just yet. Guwon is coming down, though, and this could change the fight. Care's about half HP. Guwon would need to tank the tower. Zhuo's here as well. Rookie will survive, and it looks like the tower will stay standing.
And NIP, even though they don't get any kills, they don't accelerate the gold by Care. Actually, I say that. House is brought down. They're looking for a fight. There's a teleport coming in from the Ornn. They do not want to let this tower stand.
Teleport expended and ult available. NIP would rather save the cooldown, but they can and will use it to start a fight. IG get a little too antsy, and in come NIP. Care isolates and destroys Rookie, finding himself yet another kill, managing to walk away on 1 HP. Hoya looks for the kills under the tower, but will not find them on Soboro. NIP lose nothing. They gain a kill on the mid laner, and naturally, the bot lane tower will fall.
And Hoya TPing there as well. His conditions are plenty healthy. He should be able to knock down this tier 1 in bot as well to give NIP more space to play around with, but I don't think they need it. Dragon is up in only 20 seconds here off of the redeployment from the resets on NIP. They should just easily be able to walk into this bot side and take their first dragon of the game. It was looking a little dicey on the neutral objectives for them, but they rebound, they find a fight, they take control, and they get themselves plenty accelerated enough to take the fight to IG. As we get a replay here, and Hoya, really good ultimate here, but Rookie, I feel, just very disrespectful with positioning. He knows he doesn't have flash. He knows that Hoya wants to use this timer to try and look for a kill, given that he committed his teleport for it, but he walks up anyway, gets found, and opens up the floodgates for NIP to take more than just the mid laner.
We cut back to live. Kara's once again right next to Rookie, looking for kills, looking to match this Syndra. As it appears, only this Diana can. Cards on the table. NIP put their faith in Kara's Diana. second of his career. And up against Rookie once again. This time, as you said, looking a lot better. Picking up not just the first kill, but a second as well. Jwei is here to make sure that that does not extend too far. Has Jwei for backup. And IG will take a chunk out of the top lane tower.
But I don't think they're going to be able to finish it, even though they've got the grubs. You can see that Guwon is crossing the map over to reinforce his top side if need be. That top lane turret, too healthy for them to actually threaten, is going to mean a little bit of gold for IG, but nothing more than that. And NIP in the mid lane are going to be able to trade that as well.
Photic's got Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and Assum's Cleanse is almost off cooldown. The window for a play closing, as that unfortunately will lapse this time around. NIP currently hold a lead as we crest 15 minutes. 3,000 gold, much larger than their lead last game.
Absolutely. I think NIP, the creative picks have been so fun to see from this team, and we get one more added onto it. Assum's Draven, Care's Diana, every single member of this squad that NIP have assembled here. Is Assum's looking for his play.
Crystal Arrow lands, but Assum doesn't end up using the cleanse. Recognizes there's no real kill here. It's just going to be damage traded back and forth, and the cooldown will be better expended in an upcoming team fight. Where that might be, perhaps the Rift Herald.
Perhaps it will be, and Guwon should be able to set up for that. This guy has been so good at starting up fights, but hasn't been the main damage dealer of the squad. We'll see if he can delve out the damage on this Trundle. As now it has been started, and Zhuo
is 1 HP but alive, and on Lulu, he gets taken out by the Encore. Jwei picks up the first kill of the team fight. Rift Herald on 2k HP and resetting quickly as Rookie looks for Assum, flashes on him, and the ultimate will connect, but not take him down. Instead, it is the Rift Herald that falls. A single kill and the objective going the way of IG.
Rookie has to be careful not to overstay his welcome. He will back out of there, but good layering of the ultimates there from IG, finally being able to sync those R keys together. And NIP do not have the same power in that wombo combo that Invictus Gaming drafted for. So they not only get the pick, but they also get the turret. They get the Herald as well. That'll be a big deal for them, trying to match the priority that NIP have started to put on a lot of these neutral objectives, namely the dragons.
Bit of an Ornn moment as Hoya does tank everything and manage to stay alive. This tank really a return to form as well, as this is exactly what Hoya differentiated himself on before picking the Varus top lane. Was so good at creating space for the team. Let's take a look at how this fight went down.
Yeah, frankly, Zhuo gets one shot, I think, is the big headline here. He's not able to stick around and defend Assum from all of the threats that just immediately get lodged his way. He also gets picked off by the Encore. He's not a big fan of that music, so he ends up dying to it. But another big thing to mention is that Assum committed that flash. Assum just kills Photic off screen.
First unstoppable force going to come through, this time onto Care.
No way.
Guwon answers back. Moonfall shuts that play down, puts it right back where it came from. Another kill, another 2 kills collected by Care top lane.
And Care gets even more accelerated in this game. Rookie's going to try and look for something in mid because Assum doesn't have that flash, but it doesn't matter that Assum expended that summoner spell on the Herald fight because now NIP just got so much more gold in their back pockets. Care is going to look to at least take this plate, if not a little bit more. I want to see how this happened. Photic just died off cam.
Gets to walk at him, and Ornn does Ornn things. Meanwhile, topside, he's all satisfied.
Yeah, and way too overcommittal on that play. Flash expended means that he's just a sitting duck the moment Guwon shows up. Even if he gets that kill onto Care, he gets taken down. And when you're playing a champion like Jace, who, similar to what we've said about the Diana, doesn't offer a lot outside of the innate damage of their kit, you can't be sacrificing your conditions like that, I feel. But now, Dragon is up, Jwei with no flash. Assum also doesn't have that, but it doesn't matter. If your jungler doesn't have his escape tool, you are not 50-50ing for a Drake.
This is looking like a good game for NIP. For the fans, the players, and for Care, who is on the verge of his revenge story up against Rookie. When Rookie took him down from Ascend, Care looks to be doing exactly the same thing here with the Diana that he lost in game 4. I cannot get over this.
Yeah,
Dragon going to be picked up.
Such a crazy coincidence, honestly. And I mean, really good for Care, too, as well. This is a player who has been in the FPX pipeline since basically he became a pro player. He started off on their academy team all the way back in 2022 and has been with them all the way until they unfortunately are no longer in the LPL. And a lot of question marks on this player without the safety and the reliability of an org that you built your entire foundation off of. How are you going to be able to perform in a new environment with completely new teammates in a new space that you're not familiar with? And I think Care, much like the rest of NIP, have really hit their stride, have found their footing, and have been allowed to play these more unorthodox picks to potential success, as NIP are now 5,000 gold up, and a lot of that rests on Care and Assum's shoulders.
That's definitely something that NIP are creating the room for, is establishing such a good base for these players and then letting them experiment, find what makes them so much more threatening in the LPL.
For sure. NIP with the creative angles have been so exciting to watch, and Care, this isn't the first interesting pick we've seen him pilot. We did see the Aurelian Soul, I believe, in one of their first matches of the LPL, but that did not go super great for NIP. So it's cool to see one of the more flexible champions in the mid lane, one that we have very, very rarely seen in the mid lane, end up working here for NIP. But now we're just seeing, because Care and Guwon have such high attack speed, they're just gonna two-man the Baron. I don't think IG have a whiff of what's going on.
They've pinged it. Teleport coming up as well. IG know this is going down, but they just don't know how fast. And unfortunately, with their misestimation of how quickly Baron would go down, they will just lose it entirely, and they might even lose the fight to follow. Soboro is going to get knocked up, flashes away, but crucially keeps the unstoppable force for a possible re-engage.
And I like the NIP. Oh, hang on, hold that thought.
And he loses the unstoppable force.
Very stoppable force, it seems like, is what we can label Soboro as, because now IG are forced to take the very long way all the way around, and that will give a few plates over to NIP. With Baron, they're just going to straight up run through the turret without any fear. I mean, without that unstoppable force, there really isn't a solid engage tool here for Invictus Gaming, so they can't actually take the fight to NIP to defend that turret. It will allow NIP to get more gold, go for a reset. We're a little over 2 minutes away from the Dragon, but crucially, Soboro will still not have that flash by that time. So this Malphite, if he goes in, there is a very high chance that he does not come out.
Assum's found Soboro. Remember, no unstoppable force, so this Malphite is essentially a giant punching bag. When we looked at this draft, Malphite was a haymaker. But he was a haymaker because he's meant to press R on Assum. And if he's not doing that, he's not doing anything.
Ooh, Assum taking a fair bit of damage from that shock blast, but Zhuo is there, Guwon is there, Hoya is there. He's got his boys. And honestly, that's all he needs. NIP, a full roster rebuild, now looking to get into group ascend. Care forced to flash. IG desperately looking for any kind of a pick to get a numbers advantage. They know they don't win the 5v5s at this point.
Yeah, honestly, this works. Encore is going to land just onto Hoya, who is essentially immortal. He is a beefy frontline, the likes of which IG have nothing to deal with. And Care is drawing people back and forth. Yes, he expended the flash before, but he drew 3, 4 people up. And as it is, both inhibitor towers stand, but both are extremely weak.
Dragon up in about 40 seconds as well. IG have no business being able to contest this. Soboro still without that summoner spell means that the engage that you get from IG might be reliable. It might hit a couple of members, but there's no way you're going to be holding on to that frontliner for very long after he ults in. So IG are going to have to rely on burst damage, I feel, in order to win this fight. And when you're staring down against a Ornn, a Trundle with Subjugate, and a Lulu with Wild Growth, one-shotting the entire enemy team just isn't in the cards at this point. So IG really can't win a fight against NIP with their current conditions, and they're not even going to try. They're just going to clear out these waves, and I feel like it's a sad thing to say, Dia, but that is the smarter option.
Yeah, you let the dragon go over, you live to fight another day. The nice thing is, a lot of waves are being pushed into the jungle into the towers right now. IG are collecting gold slowly but surely. The problem is the amount of autonomy that NIP have on the map. The vision control that NIP are laying down. We talked about Zhuo being so instrumental in that earlier today. Assum walks up to the bush, the one bush they don't have vision in, but he's still alive! He's still firing! Even through the perfect fight for IG. 1v4 on the AD carry. They can't kill him!
Yo, Assum withstanding all of that pressure. Guwon is somehow less tanky than his AD carry. He will go down. IG will find a pick and weather the storm for the time being. But dang, that has got to feel a little bit bad regardless, not being able to one-shot the Yunara through all of the Lulu defenses. Certainly a thorn in their side. If they are not able to 4-man one-shot the AD carry, I feel like that speaks volumes to how they'll fare against the health pools of the other NIP members.
You know what's even more devastating about that is that Assum, for that, burned Cleanse, but did not burn Flash. He could have flashed. It would have been safer, but he knew he didn't have to. So not only do IG not one-shot the NIP AD carry, but Assum knows that they can't do it.
Yeah. Oh, now he's going to walk up. He's going to say, you know what? 4 isn't that much less than 5. So maybe I could do it. Maybe I could withstand the damage of all 5 IG versus. Let's see if Jwei can do the same.
Jwei. Knock up, not going to land, but Assum does find a way. Who has to flash out of range over the wall. And Assum gets to continue stepping up, not concerned about a darn thing, even with Unstoppable Force still available. Unstoppable Force and Flash for Soboro.
Yeah. 2 flashes burned on IG members, with Baron coming up in about 30 seconds, not 30 minutes. Does mean NIP should just be able to rip it on spawn once again, like they did last time. This is a comp so good at being able to just burn away neutral objectives. The attack speed from Guwon and Care, and Assum now that he has an ornament and 3 items, means that this thing, I think, lives for 15 seconds max, if all of NIP are hitting it consecutively.
We're about to find out. I
Let's
think
count.
you might start counting now. Yeah, they're hitting it.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, oh my god, 10, 11, 12,
I think 15 might be right.
13, 14. I'm so good. 15 seconds.
You're so good, actually. And you know what's bad? This game state for IG.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough out here now. All 5 members wearing purple, and teleports available for both solo laners too. So if IG decide, hey, let's try and overcommit, who care?
Goes golden. Should have backup on the way and flashes
Bye-bye.
out once again. Care so good at drawing attention from the members of IG, but not going down for it. It'll mean an inhibitor tower goes to NIP, and a teleport in from Care signals that they want more. An inhibitor is on the menu, boys!
Yup, and now teleport, like you said, coming in from Care. They're going to take down the inhib on top side, but there isn't a lot of pressure being drawn in the other lane, so they're not actually able to threaten anything more because the wave states aren't very positive. Soboro is walking up really far. I was thinking NIP might legitimately try and cancel their backs to punish Soboro for pulling up to them this disrespectfully, but they're going to channel their backs. They're going to go toward the bot side, drag it up in about 40 seconds, and if they get this, it'll be Soul. And hey, if you tried one-shotting a Yunara without Mountain Soul and it didn't go through, just imagine how it's going to go with the Yunara with Mountain Soul.
An inevitable reality for IG. One-shotting Assum, just no longer in the cards. And unfortunately, CCing him is on a pretty long cooldown as well. Assum has done a great job of managing his cleanse cooldowns, only stepping up into risky zones when he has it available. He hasn't been forced to burn flash in ages. They're just not even fighting with Assum. They're fighting with Care! The Moonfall comes down! A double kill for Care! Wants to make it a triple, but Soboro flashes away as Assum joins the fight. It is simply to take down the inhibitor, simply to escort NIP deeper into the base.
And NIP looking to put a bow on this game. It's the lightning from a Thunder Talk member. It's the ashes of FPX.
Assum flashes forward!
FPX, or IG, looking to bounce back. They will delay NIP's victory for now. But now they're just going to retreat, go toward the dragon. That should be Soul for them, even though it is a little bit delayed. You can see IG, though, are pinging. They want to try and contest this, but I don't think you're going to be able to get here in time. Jwei is also down. You don't have Smite.
Care just does too much damage as well. No steal from Rookie this time. Jungle diff.
Yup. Dang, Soboro is probably really sad that he forgot to get a steal here, so let's take a replay here. Really good wombo combo. We talk about the wombo combo from IG. Well, I mean, NIP, we weren't anticipating like a cool looking play, but they still managed to find one. It's a double Moonlight Vigil into an Ornhorn. Gives them 2. And we're going right back to live just because I feel like NIP at any moment could find a pick and look to end the game from there.
Around these objectives is where NIP are going to be particularly strong given the vision that they have and the team fight composition. We already saw them fight around inhibitor towers, soon to be Nexus towers as well. But NIP don't have to rush this. They've got Soul, and that means that Elder will be on the menu in 5 minutes. NIP can play an error-free game where they shove waves into IG's base. And if IG make a mistake, NIP win the game. And if IG don't make a mistake, in 6 minutes, NIP win the game.
It really is a do-or-die time here for IG as the walls are closing in. All 3 lanes have waves pouring under the last 2 remaining towers. They've got to fight.
There's Diana. Back and threatening the back line, is going to jump right on top of Rookie. Out comes the Ornhorn, and Care will finish off Rookie. And it is NIP finishing off IG as the Nexus towers fall, and NIP will slay another team from Group Ascend.
Their second series win over Ascend squads, and you can just see the elation on the players' faces here for NIP. It means so much to these guys who, like we said, in 2025 individually really struggled. So to see them hit this high to topple IG and Ascend team, you have to think that it is so meaningful for them. Take a bow, gentlemen. Do it with pride. A well-fought series from every single one of them. And Dia, I can't wait to see what this team has in store the next time we see them.
This is such a fantastic news story for Care as well. I know we were talking about the supports coming into today's matchup as they've been so critical, but this last game, it really all became about Care and his return to the Diana in a critical series as well, and in a critical game. The fact that it's game 4 again and he pulls this out, and the fact that it was the game that took him out of Ascend from FPX that brings him back to Ascend level on NIP, on the same champion, on the same game, against the same mid laner.
Yeah. It really is a story of redemption in that regard for Care. But like I said, for the career histories of these two, or for all 5 of these players, it is a story of redemption. They have taken the first big leap in that road in 2026, Dia. But I'm excited to see what they have to do from here. After all, NIP, I mean, this is a team that not only do they look good in their style of team fighting and being able to 5v5, but they do it in their own way. I feel like this is a squad that can really get a lot of the upper teams in Ascend if they can make it to that area with the ingenuity that they have shown. Things like the Diana, things like the Draven, the Varus top, these are things that Ascend teams, even at the top of their game, are afraid to pull out when the chips are down. And that commitment, that willingness to experiment and to trust your teammates that they know what they're doing on these unorthodox picks is what really, I think, makes a lot of people very big fans of NIP. It's what makes me a big fan of NIP. I love my ingenuity, Dia.
Yeah, we've got at least one for everyone, right? We've got Zhuo's Thresh, we've got Assum's Draven, we've got Care's Diana, just because it's my most recent favorite, Guwon's Viego, and Hoya's Varus. I mean, there's a pocket pick in every single lane, a carry threat in every single lane that many teams are not going to be prepared for. And I do wonder, like you say, this is the first step of the playoffs. It's even still the play-ins for NIP, but it is such a huge series for them in terms of their overall standing in the LPL. And I can't wait to see what now they will get to do in the playoffs up against other teams from Group Ascend.
It's going to be really exciting. I'm super looking forward to NIP. They earned this victory. They earned their standing as the best team in group perseverance by decimating Team WE in that tiebreaker. They took that momentum against IG. They looked at them. They did not blink. And they managed to win the series 3-1. I would imagine player of the game, Dia, at least for this one, probably going to go to Care, simply because how often do you see a Diana in mid? You got to give it just for aura points alone. But the tougher question, my friend, who gets series MVP? Who was the best player across all 4 games for this squad? That is a really hard question for me to answer, and I can see you contemplating. I'm right there with you, even if I'm not showing it.
Yeah, I'm